businesses. We have made our own hero's journey and can now recognize the same journey in our clients. So today I invite you, myself, and all of our guests and teachers to welcome us as celebrants and into the realm of service and dedication to witnessing and celebrating transformation. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sarah Ritchie, and I'm really pleased to be here, but very nervous. But I thank April for reminding me this is not about my ego. This is about being of love and service and talking about my experience. So, am I okay with the mic? Yes. Throughout my career, I've been privileged to work with some exceedingly accomplished people. Leaders in the foundation world, presidents of universities, elected officials, highly successful business people. And I can say without hesitation, I have never met a group that is collectively as smart, creative, interesting, and well-intentioned as the members of the class of 2009. I'm honored and grateful to have an opportunity to say a few words about my journey over the last year. In our final class in the Children and Families course, we focused on the importance of acknowledging seasonal transitions in our lives. As she always did, our instructor, Deb Goldman, tenderly explained how her family marked the change of seasons. As I prepared these remarks, I was transported to this time last year, 4 full seasons ago, when I was considering applying for this program. The seeds of my interest in celebrancy took some time to germinate. And I'm not even sure when I learned of this and recognized that it was a vocational path. But somehow, I managed to end up on the foundation's mailing list, and I was invited to participate in the festivities of the 2008 graduating class. I was curious about it all, and I convinced my boyfriend to bring me way over here on the other side. We sat alone. He was furtively reading the latest issue of The New Yorker. I was quiet, excited, nervous, not as nervous as I am today. But when the warm, engaging speakers, including April Beer, Dory Bless, and others, shared their experiences as celebrants, I knew I was in the right place. And if that wasn't enough, Bonnie Cushing's exposition on the iron skillet as a metaphor for celebrancy sealed the deal. Like April, I was dubious of how this distance learning thing would work, but I soon came to realize that a Java chat room could, in fact, be a sacred space. We have shared intimate ideas and life experiences and nurtured new relationships that I expect will grow as we launch our practices. Regardless of the mode of instruction, we've been through a lot over the last 2 semesters. Even within our relatively small group, these seasons of the program have seen deaths of loved ones, the loss of meaningful jobs, retirement, serious illness, transitions for aging parents. But these seasons have also witnessed happy occasions, including children coming home to new loving families, new jobs, milestone birthdays, commitment ceremonies, moves to new cities, a lot of moves to new cities, and anniversaries in recovery, not to mention the new presidential administration. So our lives have been filled with all of the happiness and sorrow that reflect the occasions that we'll mark as celebrants. We've spent a good bit of time talking about symbolism in the class and during this weekend, yesterday. One symbol that meant a lot to me this year was my quilting square. Early in the academic year, I was fortunate to take a short trip to Panama, which is a lovely spot, and one of my enduring visions of the trip were these beautifully colored quilts, of which this is a swatch, sewn by the native women to sell to the tourists. As they blew in the wind, they reminded me of Buddhist prayer flags. In my limited understanding, the flags promote peace, compassion, strength, and wisdom. Tibetans use these flags believing that good wishes will be blown to all. So I picked up some scraps of these, and I brought them back to New York, and I sent them to members of my first class and our instructor, Peggy, and wanted to share that experience. And I thank all of those who took me to Base Camp 1. I've gazed at this watch many, many times over the last months. My capable teachers, Peggy Lewis, Woody Winfrey, Deb Goldman, and Cindy, Charlotte, Priya, and all the rest, have been wonderful guides, Sherpas, leading us to new heights and bringing us back to begin our work as celebrants. And now that we've scaled the peak and returned to the origin of our journey, we go back to our families and communities with all that we've learned and all that we want to share. My personal liminal moment was a week ago I was at my hair salon getting the full treatment in preparation for graduation. I was once again reading the final assignment for my Children and Families course, A Home Blessing for Rajneet and Becky, which called for a highly choreographed house blessing using Jewish and Hindu rituals, or traditions, I should say. As I reread the document for the umpteenth time, I heard the client next to me talking about his new home in Connecticut. I resisted the impulse for a little bit, and then I just gave in. I turned to him, foils out to here, seriously, and said, I couldn't help but overhear, have you considered a home blessing? It's a sickness, and I've warned my boyfriend that this is yet a harbinger of things to come. He furrowed his brow and looked really puzzled. But then I was comforted to hear he said my brother actually had one for his home, but I never had thought about it. So I got in my backpack and I pulled out one of my newly minted Vistaprint business cards. I handed it to him and said, if you're interested, let's discuss it. I suddenly felt a connection to Van Gennep and Campbell and all those that we had studied. I transitioned from being a student of celebrancy, preparing my assignment for the wise instructor, to someone who practices this art in service to others. It wasn't an elaborate ritual, but it felt good at the time. I was going to close with that, but there is one minor coda, if you'll indulge. Yesterday, I met my, what I call long-lost new friend, Robin, with whom I've shared 2 classes. She made her way down from Hartford. I met her at the Port Authority, and she suggested that we make a stop at St. Patrick's. And we went over there and found ourselves in the middle of a wedding. I've been there so many times, I didn't think it was possible. And it seemed like such a moment of celebration and a sign of good things. And it literally made my hair stand on end. And she was extremely grateful, and I told her it was no problem arranging that for her visit. We then went down to the PATH station in Lower Manhattan, and of course everyone knows that that's directly across from the World Trade Center. And we had to stop and pay homage and look, and we went across the street to St. Paul's Church, which was a focal point of suffering and healing during those many months of recovery. And it's a beautiful place you should visit if you can. And it's architecturally unusual in that it's almost circular in its arrangement, and you can view from all sides. I turned around to see the back, and there was a banner that was from my Oklahomans, sending wishes of love and support for the New Yorkers. And again, it was a sign to me of all of the important things that we care about. And I can't think of 2 more significant moments to experience as we led up to this. So I was really grateful for that, and I appreciate the opportunity to share my thoughts. Thanks, everybody.
In the spirit of our poetry festival that we had yesterday, I invite our graduates, Megan Kennedy of Chicago, Illinois, my hometown, and Jonathan Bellingham of Capon Springs, West Virginia, to present Multilingual Poetry for Ceremony. Megan, Jonathan, come on up.
So I'm going to share with you a poem by Giacomo Leopardi from 1819. Sempre caro mi fu quest'ermo colle in questa siepe, che da tanta parte dell'ultimo orizzonte il guardo esclude. Ma sedendo e mirando interminati spazi di là da quella e sovrumani silenzi e profondissima quiete. Io nel pensier mi fingo ove per poco il cor non si spaura. E come il vento odo stormir tra questa piante, io quello infinito silenzio a questa voce vo comparando. E mi sovvien l'eterno e le morte stagioni e la presente viva e il suon di lei. Così tra questa immensità s'anneghi il pensier mio e il naufragar m'è dolce in questo mare. So what I said. These solitary hills have always been dear to me. Seated here, this sweet hedge, which blocks the distant horizon, opening inner silences and interminable distances. I plunge in thought to where my heart, frightened, pulls back. Like the wind, which I hear tossing the trembling plants which surround me, a voice from the inner depths of thought. Eternity breaks through time. Past and present intermingle in her image. In the inner shadows, I lose myself, drowning in the sea depths of timeless love. Thanks.
Tres árboles, por Gabriela Mistral. Tres árboles caídos quedaron en la orilla del sendero. El leñador los olvidó y conversan apretados de amor como tres ciegos. El sol de acaso pone su sangre viva en los hendidos lenos y se llevan los vientos la fragancia de su costado abierto. Uno, torcido, tiene su brazo inmenso y de follaje trémulo hacia otro, y sus heridas como dos ojos son llenos de ruego. El leñador los olvidó, la noche vendrá. Estaré con ellos. Recibiré en mi corazón sus mansas resinas. Me serán como de fuego, y mudos y sonidos nos halle el día en un montón de duelo. Three Trees by Gabriela Mistral. 3 trees struck down were left by the edge of the road. The woodsman forgot them, so they spoke, clutching one another out of love, like 3 blind men. The dying sun spills its fiery blood on the wounded logs, and while the fragrance of their open sides is lifted away by the winds, one, twisted, extends its mighty arm with trembling leaves toward the other, and its wounds beg like 2 pleading eyes. The woodsman forgot them. Night is coming. I will be with them. Their mild resin will flow into my heart. To me, they'll burn like fire, and they will find us silent and clinging together in a heap of sorrow.
Amazing. Thank you both. Thank all the speakers. I introduce to you Cynthia Reed, our Director of Academics.
Hello. I love graduation. I think I say that every year just in that voice, too. Thank you, Priya. My name is Cindy Reed, and I'm the Director of Academics for the Celebrant Foundation and Institute. Today, we recognize the achievements of our class of 2009, the largest class of celebrants that we have ever graduated. We've come a long way from the 5 of us in the woods, which has really become our mythology. Charlotte and I, we tell that story so many times that I wonder how much of it is fact and how much of it is fiction at this point. But we are graduating 85 people with 106 individual certificates. We are so thrilled that so many of you have traveled to New Jersey to be with us, with your friends and family for support. I think it is so important for that public incorporation that we talk about so much in class, of you in your new statuses. But of course, our numbers are not complete. We understand that for reasons of timing and obligations and finances, that not everyone in the class who's taken the course online can be here today. So we acknowledge our classmates across the country in the United States, across Canada, and even across the pond in Northern Ireland. In spirit, we know that they are with us today, and later on in the ceremony that we do during the symbol exchange, we're all going to take a moment where we all across the country and Canada and Northern Ireland are hopefully at the same time reading the same poem together. But these dry facts, the numbers, the places, they really don't tell a lot about the spirit of our class. And so we present now in pictures the class of 2009. I'm sorry. Charlotte is the biggest muffin in the world. I have to give a huge shout out to my husband, Matt Kennedy, who volunteered to put the video montage together for us. They are way in the back. And Mark for helping as well. Mark Atala, who's doing our AV for today. It's very helpful in celebrancy to be married to men or women who know how to run audio and video equipment. This has been quite a year, and I have to echo what Sarah Ritchie was saying, all the events in the circle of life that have happened in the Celebrant family. Things that we've heard about in the news have affected the people that we know and love, job losses, home losses. There have been marriages and divorces, births and deaths, new homes and home leavings, difficult as well as joyful transitions. And I know that it has been a challenging year for many. I so honor the commitment of our adult learners who have the myriad obligations of job, of family, of the charity work that I know that so many of you do, of other educational obligations. Some of you have been in master's programs and PhD programs, and more. So I know these diplomas have been hard-earned indeed. You have read much, you have discussed much, you have learned much, you have written much, and you have observed much. You have made, I hope, lifelong friends. You've learned and honed your craft, and now you're ready to practice it. You're ready to go out and be celebrants, to bring your wisdom to the world. And so, when I call your name, please come forward to take your place among the community of celebrants, gathering around us as best possible from left to right. And I like to hug people, so when I hand you your diploma, you're going to have to give me a hug as well. Okay. Some of our celebrants are here and some are not, but we do honor everyone and call everyone's name. And I believe my daughter Astrid wants to be up here with us while we do this. She likes hugs too. Colleen Adams, Rutherford, New Jersey, graduating in families. Gina Alexander, Cumming, Georgia, in weddings and funerals. Sharon Allison, Portland, Oregon, in weddings. Selena Ashurst, St. John, New Brunswick, in weddings. Virginia Barrett, San Francisco, California, in families and children. Roy Bates, Brunswick, Maryland, in funerals. Bruce Begalt, Virginia Beach, Virginia, in weddings. Could take a long time with all the hugging, receiving line going on. Sarah Jane Bell, Durham, North Carolina, in weddings. Jonathan Bellingham, Capon Springs, West Virginia, in weddings. Christine Bentz, Tucson, Arizona, in weddings and funerals. Jennifer Bett Brown, Greenfield, Massachusetts, in weddings and funerals. Jenny Bingham, Devon, Pennsylvania, in funerals. Jessica Biseglio, Kew Gardens, New York, in weddings. Howard Bloom, Alameda, California, in weddings and funerals. Jesse Blum, East Rutherford, New Jersey, in celebrancy business. Barry Braun, Paramus, New Jersey, in celebrancy business. Ann Laura Brooks, Baltimore, Maryland, in celebrancy business. Carly Brown, Lisle, Illinois, in celebrancy business. Nancy Burnett, Denver, Colorado, soon to be San Diego, in funerals and weddings. Rita Camerano, Roanoke, Virginia, in families and children. Mary Coburn, Storrs, Connecticut, in celebrancy business. Karen Kojo, Jackson, Tennessee, in families and children. Melissa Coe, Lake Oswego, Oregon, in weddings and funerals. Suzanne Congdon, Eugene, Oregon, in families and children. Fiona Creed, Brooklyn, New York, in families and children. Erica Dievskis, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in weddings. Amanda Davis, Burlington, Vermont, in families and children. Barbara Dunsmore, Nanaimo, British Columbia, weddings and funerals. Linda Donnell, Markham, Ontario, in funerals. Debbie Ellis, Bloomfield, New Jersey, in weddings. Ronnie Findley, Lake Worth, Florida, in funerals. Ronnie traveled last year to graduation as well. We're thrilled to have her back. Beth Foreman, Paramus, New Jersey, in weddings. Renee Foss, Victorville, California, in weddings and funerals. Jenny P. Gallerain, Hopedale, Massachusetts, in weddings. It's Jenny Gallerani, I'm so sorry. Gay Glasscott, Cincinnati, Ohio, in weddings. Julie Champagne Grenier of Montreal, Quebec, in funerals. Jamie Gutierrez, Newburgh, New York, in families and children. Jamie likes hugs too. Jennifer Holling, Easton, Kansas, in funerals. Callie Hartle, Topeka, Kansas, in families and children. Paula Jackson, Saratoga Springs, New York, in funerals. Leland Johnson, Kentville, California, in weddings. Charis Jones, Montclair, New Jersey, weddings. Megan Kennedy, Chicago, Illinois, in weddings. Nicole Kirkman, Meridian, Idaho, in weddings. Patricia Lawson, West Vancouver, British Columbia, in families and children. Frances Lee, Mount Lake Terrace, Washington, in funerals. Kelly Lemons, New York, New York, in weddings. Jane McNeil, Montclair, New Jersey, in weddings. Fill in over there. Holly Marion, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, in weddings. Risa Marlin, Teaneck, New Jersey, in celebrancy business. Lamira Martin, faculty member and new graduate in funerals from St. Louis, Missouri. Those of you who had Lamira know she loves the exclamation point. Nicholas Mema, Ann Arbor, Michigan, in weddings. And the person who really runs the Celebrant Foundation, Priya Navani of Secaucus, New Jersey, in weddings. Oh, and my daughter. Lori Nikolsky, Bedford Hills, New York, in funerals and families. Sharon Patterson, Mullica Hill, New Jersey, in weddings and funerals. Gail Picacoot, Crofton, British Columbia, in funerals. Joan Nelson Phillips, Silver Spring, Maryland, in weddings and funerals. Penny Prothero, Lake Stevens, Washington, in weddings. Siobhan Rafferty, Portrush, Northern Ireland, in funerals and families and children. Marilyn Rampley, Glendale, Arizona, in families and children. Jillian Reed, Miami, Florida, in weddings. Kimberly Reef, Hillsboro, Oregon, in weddings. Sarah Ritchie, New York, New York, completing the trifecta of weddings, funerals, and families and children. April Ritzenthaler, Austin, Texas, weddings and funerals. Michael Rivera, West Orange, New Jersey, in funerals. Linda Ronconi, San Antonio, Texas, in funerals. Robin Roth, West Hartford, Connecticut, in funerals. Mary Beth Russell, Houston, Texas, in weddings. Mary Jane Ryan Connolly, Grass Valley, California, in weddings and funerals. Paula Stafford, Culpeper, Virginia, in weddings and families and children. Kenda Sweet, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, in weddings and business. Vince Thomas, Lisle, Illinois, in weddings. Anna Louise Throm, Colonia, New Jersey, in weddings. Virginia Toby, Watchung, New Jersey, in families and children. Susan Tomlinson from Oro Valley, Arizona, in weddings and families and children. Shay Wishna, Portland, Oregon, in funerals. Leslie Vivian, Calgary, Alberta, in weddings and families and children. Joan Wallach, Denver, Colorado, in funerals. Jeff Wallace, Newton, New Jersey, in weddings. Delise Weir, Santa Cruz, California, in families and children. Susan Whitehead, Newburyport, Massachusetts, in weddings. Marta Wimsatt, weddings and business, in Clinton, Indiana. We're coming to you, letter Z people. Allison Warden, Alexandria, Virginia, in weddings. Robin Zeal, all the way from Whitefish, Montana, in funerals. And Dana Zipkin, whose wedding I performed, from Bloomfield, New Jersey, in weddings. It is my privilege to present to you the class of 2009. We are proud to call you our colleagues. You will go out into the world spreading good and know that it will be a better place because of your efforts. Another big round of applause.
Please be seated. I'm going to make a little announcement. Following our graduation ceremony, we're going to ask everyone to follow the graduates and recess out. The graduates are going to come down this way and recess out to the brunch buffet in the foyer. And then we'll make our way back to the tables for the toast. So Celebrant graduates that brought their symbols in about an hour, we'll have the symbol table under the blue umbrella. And curious parties are invited. Afterwards, Celebrant and Swiss horn expert Christoph Greider is going to give us a demonstration out there on the terrace. And also we're going to have some photos taken outside with the backdrop of New York, if we can see it, if it's not too fogged in. We'll also be videotaping this entire graduation festivities, and it will be on the internet, and we'll keep you posted. And we also, so that our celebrants that weren't with us today will be able to view the ceremony. And now Cindy Reed.
Okay. It's about time we sent these guys forth, don't you think? But first, we're going to create a threshold for them to traverse. We're big on thresholds in this class. I'll need some assistance from our celebrants who've come before you. So when I call your names, I invite the following celebrants and faculty members to come up, take a branch as Charlotte is demonstrating, and stand on each side of the aisle. We're going to kind of tip the branches a little bit and create a canopy under which our celebrants can traverse. So I'm going to need Deb Goldman, Chris Collette, Peggy Lewis, Barry Classell, Jane Hughes-Janou, and Mark Atala, if you're able to leave the camera. Okay. So space yourself at intervals and we'll make a canopy of our branches representing spring about to burst into bloom. The threshold metaphor we revisit time and time again because as we move from one status in life to another, we are constantly moving across these figurative spaces. So in a moment, I'll release our graduates to recess out under this threshold of support from their celebrant family, and after the graduates, our guests may happily follow. And now, graduating class of 2009, along with your friends and family who stand as witnesses, I declare you here above the Hudson River, indeed, certified celebrants. Congratulations from all of us.